Now, The Larry O'Connor Show at AM 630. WMAL.
Tonight's the big State of the Union. We're going to do lots of analysis. We have been doing analysis all day, including your reactions, your predictions, your hopes, your dreams. We'll continue with that throughout the afternoon, including we'll check in with Mercedes Schlapp from the White House at 1600 Pennsylvania to find out the latest. I'm sure they're feverishly working on a draft as we speak. That's coming up later in the program. Right now, Tom Fitton is the president of Judicial Watch. We're going to actually get his predictions tonight for the State of the Union as well. But first, Mr. Fitton, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Larry, good to be with you again.
I need to find out what's going on. I saw all these headlines about the Mueller investigation issuing a wide-ranging subpoena against the Trump inaugural committee. What are we to make of that?
Well, it's even worse than the Mueller probe. It's the Justice Department out of the Southern District of New York.
Oh, forgive me. I thought
the front for the Mueller probe.
I thought it was Mueller. Forgive me. This is Southern District of New York, the same guys who went after Cohen. Okay.
That's right, on behalf of Mueller. It goes to show that, Mueller isn't the only problem. It's the Justice Department that's continuing, in my view, to harass the president with, they're going fishing, in my view, for whatever they can find, and this extraordinary subpoena on the president's inaugural committee is just par for the course out of this Justice Department. They're raiding the president's offices, they're investigating his tweets, he's not allowed to fire James Comey. This Justice Department wants to run the administration and put the president in a box, and I don't think the president should stand for it anymore.
And by the way, I mean, listen, not to, equivocate here with regard to any funds that may have come in for the inauguration, but isn't it kind of a tried and true tradition in American politics that people throw a lot of money at the inauguration committee so that they can get some access? I mean, I remember the Obama administration getting something like $24 million for his inauguration, and there were all these levels where you can meet him here and you can talk to him there. And I mean, that's typical. Is what's being alleged here that's against the law?
Well, it's not. One's not sure. Mr. Gates, Paul Manafort's partner, helped run the committee, I think, for a time. So there'll probably be, he's been cooperating with the Mueller special counsel. There's an individual who gave a donation who supposedly is also friendly with foreign nationals, the Qataris and people like that, may have met around the same time these folks were visiting Trump Tower. They're also talking again to people in the Trump organization, it's being reported. What is going on here that the Justice Department thinks it has a kind of this wide-ranging inspector ability to just probe into every area of the president's activities? And I just don't buy there's any good faith reason to believe there were any crimes committed, and they're therefore following the leads. I think they're just doing it because they can and because they don't like President Trump. That's given all the misconduct involved, I don't have any faith in their ability to administer justice fairly here.
The fact that this is in the Southern District of New York, as you properly corrected me on there, is that then an indication that maybe Mueller is finally winding down here? I mean, we were led to believe that once the president answered the questions that the Mueller probe had, that would signal coming to an end of this unending investigation.
Well, if Mueller indeed is ending his probe, and I don't necessarily buy it, but it signals that the baton's being passed on to the Justice Department, and that President Trump is going to continue to be harassed by the deep state Justice Department as long as he's president.
Let's pivot now to tonight's State of the Union. Tom Fitton, we spoke with Dave Bossie earlier, and he's he visited the White House yesterday. I think he's got an insight into the approach they're going to take. And you keep hearing all these calls for unity, that the president will talk about the things that we can agree on, that we should all work together and bipartisanship. Tom Fitton, the people in that room want to undo his presidency. They want to remove him from office. Is it naive of the president to try to deliver that message tonight?
Well, remember, he's delivering a message not only to the people in the room, but to a nationwide audience. So he's less probably concerned about what Nancy Pelosi and Cory Booker think than he is, voters in Detroit and Wisconsin and in Pennsylvania. So he's going to act, I would presume, presidential, and make a case that he's been successful and he wants to protect the country, and there are these crazies here in town that don't want to act sensibly and do things that people generally support, which is secure the border and protect the safety of the American people by tackling illegal immigration crime and such.
What do you think his emphasis should be? Should this be the lion's share be about immigration and about border security, since that is sort of looming over this 3-week session of Congress?
Look, the more he talks about building a wall, securing the border, and dealing with the illegal immigration crisis, that's a message I think many of his supporters want to hear. It's a successful political message, I dare say it. And, from our perspective, upholding the rule of law is something, especially in the area of immigration, it's something no prior president in recent memory has been willing to do. And if he's willing to tackle that, that would be a legacy that'd be worth crowing about.
Yeah, I'll say. And what do you expect to hear from the Democrat response tonight? Is it going to be more of the same of, identity politics and the president? Do you think they'll even raise the specter of the Mueller investigation and maybe the move for impeachment?
I doubt they'll talk about impeachment. I think they'll talk about efforts to suppress the vote. They'll appeal to the hardcore progressive wing of their party. I mean, that's where the Democrats have been going. And they may see success there. They took control of the House. In some way based on that political message. And so their pick of Miss Abrams from Georgia, who was a radical leftist, to promote their message tells you where that response is going to be. I have a feeling it's not going to be as a kinder, gentler Democrat response, and I think we'll probably see a kinder, gentler president up there.
Interesting. I wonder what resonates with the American people these days, and whether the president is making a good strategic ploy to be the one who is, as you put it, kinder and gentler and trying to find middle ground.
I don't know. Well, of course, we're not in the middle of the campaign yet, so both sides can afford to be a little bit nice. But in my view, we've got a crisis on the border, and our country's under assault. People are nervous about the future of the country because of the lack of security associated with open borders, and it's about time the politicians in town recognize the concerns that Americans have, and they still haven't acted on those concerns appropriately. But in my view, the president's in the right ballpark. The left has decided that they just don't want any border security at all, which is just unbelievable to me, given the at least it used to be the unions who used to be concerned about immigration. Now it's all bets are off. It's just it's unfortunate to see the left take this aggressive anti-American point of view on immigration policy.
Amen to that. We'll leave it there. Thank you, Tom Fitton. Always good to talk to you, my friend. Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch. Make sure you check them out at judicialwatch.org. Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome, Larry. Bye. You're welcome, Larry.